those who can, do, those who can't, teach, everyone in between. Podcasts. Welcome to All Things Aloud, the Aloud podcast. You are listening to Series 1, Episode 1, The War on Songwriting.
Fullerton said we were asked if we were making a sex tape. As I tweeted, I was like, "We're recording something for you guys tonight."
Bad move.
Yeah, I know. I didn't think about the
Fool.
sex tape angle. I did say you want to hear us blather on more, right? Of course. So
Well,
yeah, I would think it involved talking, but
Well, that's exactly what I think a sex tape with us would be like.
blather.
Just blah 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 blah.
Welcome to the First Aloud podcast.
Hey. Would you like to introduce yourself, Jennifer?
All right. So for those of you who don't know, I'm Jen.
And I'm Henry.
And both of us co-front the band Aloud, based here in Boston. I play guitar and sing and write the songs along with Henry, who also does the same.
I do exactly the same thing that you do.
I know. Every time people ask, we just rattle off the same thing.
Exactly the same things.
Exactly the same thing.
When the occasions that people ask, like, what's it like being the girl in the band? It's like they're asking me the same question. It's just.
Do you feel that way?
I do actually.
Yeah.
It's just, yeah.
Sometimes Henry gets more annoyed at that question than I do.
I get very annoyed because I don't like being in a band with all these dudes. Jesus Christ. You've met our bandmates.
Right. Speaking of,
Yeah.
Our bandmates are unfortunately not with us here today.
Because I had my way.
Charles, our bass player, is out of town for a few weeks, and Frank is somewhere. I thought it would be kind of weird to do it like the three of us for the first one. We just do maybe in pairs, you know. I have something about even numbers.
I don't know.
I can't, you know.
Well, you definitely won because I have a thing about alienating Charles as much as possible. And
You hear that, Charles?
I guess, you know.
Yeah, but we do sort of have a Charles and Frank soundboard
Yeah,
at our ready.
Yeah, so basically, just for context, we shot an electronic press kit video, and I cobbled together some of the outtakes. So this is I'm just gonna have Charles introduce himself here.
My name's Charles. Yeah. Shut up, Benny. I'm trying to say my name over here. Yeah. My name's Charles Murphy. I play bass and backing vocals for Aloud.
You play backing vocals?
I
Hashtag
do!
Lame!
My name's Charles Murphy, and I play bass and sing backup vocals for Aloud.
Do you make mouth sounds?
Benny, I make everything with my mouth.
He really does make everything with his mouth.
Yeah, that's Charles.
Well, here's I got Frank here to introduce himself. Shall I?
Right, and here's Frank, who plays drums.
Charles
Charles plays bass. I don't know if I said that. Here's our
You
drummer,
probably
Frank.
did. But the dancing's the important thing.
True.
Anyway, Frank, introduce yourself.
I don't say.
Thank you, Charles. I'm Frank. I play drums in Aloud. Yeah.
Succinct.
Yeah, you get the gist of it. Wait, hang on, there's more.
People know my drum parts. My drum parts are fucking sick. People are way into the first School for Robots record we did. People know those drum parts.
Is it weird when people sing back the drum parts that you didn't play on some of the earlier records?
And also, was the first time I remember when Tuck was at a show, and we played the two songs that he played on.
Yeah.
I could see him watching to see if I played them right, and I was like, "Yeah, I got that hi hat on the end of 2. I fucking got it. Like, what do you want from me?"
So just for a little bit of context,
Don't give him any context. What I was gonna ask is, do you remember your first song that you wrote?
I absolutely do.
Would you like to talk about it? Because you sound like you
man.
don't.
It's a pretty crappy song. I mean, obviously, your first song's gonna be pretty crappy, and it's gonna be like really dumb. I think it was. See, I can't even.
Free yourself.
It was like in D because that was like an easy chord to play. And I wrote it on my very cheap acoustic guitar that my mom bought for me out of a catalog. Not a music catalog or anything. It was just one of these,
Sears, Roebuck and Company.
It was something like that, a long time ago when like you bought things out of catalogs instead of online, right? And so I wrote this song, and I remember writing lyrics for it it must have been math class because I hated math, but it was definitely in class. Yeah, it would. Oh,
but what was it?
I know. I'm trying to avoid that, obviously.
Just stop
All
dancing
right,
around the issue, Delosa.
All right. Yeah. So it was called Abbey Road. That's so stupid.
You idiot.
Yeah. So, you're so jazzed about being able to play and write, and you're just like, I love music.
I love the Beatles
so much. I think it was something about I need to take a ride down to Abbey Road so I can clear my mind and take off a load. Something like that, It was really monotonous and dumb and boring and, everything a first song should be.
Good times.
Sorry, so what about you? Can you...
I thought it was going to be one embarrassing thing, but then I dug a little deeper, and I do remember the first song I wrote. And it was incidentally, it was on a typewriter, which is only funny because, we've been we've been writing lyrics on a typewriter for the last couple of years. Pretty sure it was it was the summer after I learned to play guitar.
Okay.
So it just, kind of dovetailed with that, right? And the first song that I wrote, I can't even. This is like,
yeah. You see how horrible this is? You guys really don't know. I mean, some of you might know, but man, this is just like it's visceral pain. You know?
I was 12 or 13, and the song was called "Inhuman," and
is it a manifesto?
No, it was. I wish it was an angsty manifesto, right?
It still might be embarrassing.
It
would definitely be embarrassing.
It's even worse, and it's funny because me and Charles were talking about this weekend. That song, that Primus song, known as
Big Round Beaver.
Yeah. So it was, I had MTV on, and that song was on. I think it had just come out, right? And I basically used that idea. I mean, the subtext of that song was completely lost on me because I don't know what sex is at all. But just the idea of what was the song? It was it turns out that this thing was a different an animal. I don't know. It was something along those lines that this woman had a baby and it turns out, oh god, it was this creature. I don't know. But it was really fucking dumb.
Okay.
And this is probably the only time in my life I have ever spoken about that song.
So wait, you thought about this weird thing being given birth to, and you decided to call the song "Inhuman"?
Because it wasn't human.
Right, but okay. So what was it? The song was about
It was the best possible light that I could shine on this song is that it was an exercise in storytelling within a song. But the truth of the matter is, it was a piece of shit song written by a fucking 12-year-old.
Given,
Yeah, no, it was horrible. I typed it out. I played the chorus once, and even then I was just like, all right, and we're never going to show this to anybody.
There's a lot of joy from it. It is one of my favorite things when we get done writing a song, and I've written it into my composition notebook, as I've been doing for several years, 18 years now.
You're so lame.
I know. I can't get myself to change notebooks. They're all going in there. And as we finish that up, as we're done, and as I finish writing that up, I'm just I feel so pleased about everything. I feel like everything is good. No, everything is great when I'm writing.
Listen to yourself. You're like, I'm so pleased.
No, you just feel so. You just feel so good about life. No, it's
maybe you do. I'm just that was exhausting.
Well, it's a good day's work exhausting though, right?
I don't know, man.
I mean, I only get that from writing.
It is. I'll tell you right now, it is rare for me to feel good after writing a song. I'll love the song 9 times out of 10.
I don't understand you.
But
I'm just gonna say that. See,
Like-
I'm like, let's go celebrate. Let's go get a beer. Like, I just want to like leave the house and go
I
celebrate.
don't know. I
Like-
think it's just I probably just haven't figured it out, man. This is what I was telling you earlier. How I'm just like, fuck, I suck.
It's got nothing to do with anything.
Like,
I don't know. I don't know.
And this
It's
is
just
the big and just as a more recent example, Back Here With Me Again.
off our latest record. It's Got to Be Now.
But I remember personally having a difficult time working on that one.
Well, that was one. See, so every now and again, one of us will get into
A mood.
I got you back here with me again. Someone to love and share the bed. I got you back here with me again. Someone to love and share the bed.
A mood.
a mood. Sometimes, we set aside time for it, and that you have to get the work done in that time. And sometimes maybe you're not feeling it. And like, I do remember with that one, I don't think we had anything when we started going. We just were starting to write at that session, and that usually is tough for us. It's a lot easier when one of us has like a seed of an idea, but we had nothing that day. And I just except that I thought about the Supreme song, Got You Back in My Arms Again.
I feel like I know nothing about
this song.
Back Here
Yeah,
With Me Again. I was like,
Henry wrote bits.
I know that I wrote bits.
Yeah.
I know that I was in the room, and that I was feeling languid.
Yeah, it's funny
but that's
though.
all I remember about the song.
I know, but it's funny though because this one came together in like no time at all, right? Like it was just the keyboard was hanging around like in the room.
I remember the keyboard too.
And we had brought it in specifically to write songs on that, and we hadn't used it at all. And I thought we're gonna use it today, but it was really quick, right? And usually this is like bad when we don't have something in, like I said, and it'll take like hours to come up with something. Thankfully, that did not happen. Probably because we were in the business of regularly writing every week, right? If you continue to do that, it's just easier to write. And we took it to the rehearsal space, and it just came together with the band really quickly too. I think it took like a half hour. And I remember kind of looking around and being like, did we just get that? Is that done? I mean,
yeah. And this is just funny because like that song in particular, like a lot of this is before the record came out. Like we're mixing it and doing all that shit. And Charles Newman listened to it and he's just like, oh, this song's fucking great. Like this should be the single. And like basically the more people liked it, the angrier it made me, and the more I hated the song.
Charles Newman is our producer, not to be confused with Charles, our bass player.
Right. Yeah, the more everyone liked that song, the more upset I got. And then when Charles Newman was like, it should be the first song on the record, I was even more pissed.
You're so weird.
I know, but I'm over it. I do like the song a lot. I do think it's a good opener for like he was, everyone's right.
Everyone else was right.
Yeah, this is me and my shittiness. I fully acknowledge that.
I think we'll have to take maybe a vote at the end of this podcast. Yeah. Everyone can email us with, should Henry go seek professional help?
Or kill himself.
You see what I'm saying?
We'll find out on the next podcast. Whoa. Yeah, so with all the, talking about, Aloud songs and songwriting and the bad songs and the good songs and the songs that brought me personal anguish that everyone enjoyed. We before Charles went on vacation, we did a little. I guess this is a remote recording technically. We gave Charles and Frank full access to our notebooks with lyrics that we wrote when we were teenagers. And
this is a brave thing to do, right? I didn't realize it though until we'd actually end. I thought, oh, this will be great. This will be funny. And then,
then the dread. I mean, like,
and it is funny.
Yeah.
However,
me asking you what your first song was, right? Like, just that was just.
I really didn't think about it when I suggested this.
Yeah.
It was my idea to have them read it as like as poetry for a gag.
Yeah.
And and they started to, and I was like,
Well, the worst is like,
And
so
then
we,
you had
so
to
we
laugh.
set the microphones up, right, and then they're flipping through the things, and then you hear like laughter, right, and it's like, I mean, and rightfully so, but it's just this thing of like, that's why I hid those things from my mother.
Well, you knew they were bad. I mean, we both knew they were bad, but I don't think you didn't realize.
We worked so
specifically-
hard on those songs, Jen.
You forget specific things about why they were so bad.
Yeah. So I'm we could talk about it after
Yeah,
they
let's
play. I don't want to set anything up.
Let's roll
but,
some tape, huh?
Let's see. So let's all right. So here's one called I think these are from like when we were between 17 and 19.
Yeah, that sounds
we wrote
about
those.
right.
So here we go.
Okay, I'll be in the corner
This is from a
cringing.
song called I've Always Said We'd Never Last from July 3rd, 2000. Down here by the vacant lot, we shield ourselves with books and words. All we do here is smoke pot and feed ourselves with our own world.
I don't remember it, honestly.
I do actually. I think we wrote that when there was like two friends of, I guess they were more your friends. Like they would like, they would get together and then they'd split up, and then they get together and they'd split up, and
Yes, the first of my observational songs.
right.
Yeah, I like to write about people around me, so watch out.
Watch your back, or we will write terrible songs about you.
I kind of really love turning those situations into songs. I was like, oh, this will make a great song. There might be
Alright.
a couple songs about you, listener.
Specifically you. Yeah. All right. So here's one Charles picked.
Alright. This one's called Hit and Run from January 17th, 2000. Wednesday night. Feel alright. I'm going out. All this time, you've been good. I have no doubt. Icy roads. Air is cold. It fills my lungs. Beautiful. Moon is full. Out for some fun. Felt so wrong all day long. Something's not right. What you say can't take away. I really tried.
So
bad.
yeah, the best thing about that song, I remember you. It's like long as shit, right?
Yeah, this
Yeah.
goes on for a long time.
Yeah, someone ran over your dog.
Right when you said that, I found the part that said, and I started to laugh.
Oh.
Poor Leo.
Oh, boy. That was my dog. Yeah, I do remember writing that about the dog.
Yeah, it really was a long song, man. It was,
It was the traumatic experience.
it was also, you mean the Doors phase?
Yeah.
That was
The
traumatic.
Taurus phase was bad.
Alright, this one's Walk on the Beach from July 5th, 2000. Taking a walk along the beach on blood-covered, flesh-colored sand. All these shells slashing at my feet, it's a wonder I can still stand. Crimson footprints stain the ground, my arms weary from falling down. The more you swim, the more you drown, so I walk and sink instead of smoke and drink.
The best thing about these early songs is nothing ever sounds the way you mean it to sound.
Ripping the Currents sounds kind of promising.
I don't even think there was any music for that at all.
I haven't read any of it yet. April 12th, 2000. Too many people worry about the games we're forced to play. Rip their heads out, trying to color inside the lines. We sort our problems into neat little piles and try to vaporize them by talking them to death. So tell me, is this really what we need? Can we pull out the dirty weed? Can we keep the beat up on our own? Are we destined to be alone? We will glide above sand, push the pulsing pump that drives this land. This is our promised land. We can fuck with their heads and still see no end to this silly world. Tired of dealing with moronic boys and stupid girls. No one can go back to the way they feel.
Pillars of salt will flavor my next meal.
Pillars of salt will flavor my next meal sounds like a metal song, right?
Yeah. But the line preceding it's definitely the best thing you've ever written. It's impossible to feel a feeling twice. Once you've had it, that's it, man. It's over.
These feelings, they don't exist.
Nope.
So dumb.
All right, moving on.
This one's pretty good. American Wasteland.
Oh, Jesus
Oh,
Christ.
this one's pretty bad. Yeah.
Oh, no!
August
yeah.
13th, 2000. Pretty Volvos and Volkswagens parked along the street. Barren fields raise the buildings. Our soldiers don't retreat. Make your mark right in the hearts of the people you won't treat. Welfare for heroin addicts. Gee, ain't it neat? Don't put that in your body, but let's drink on to our death. Workaholic dad sits back and smokes into a dream. Busy mommy, glass in hand, pops pills by the TV. At night, Bobby and Molly sneak out for some herbal tea. Yeah, this is the way we live, when we deliver what we can't afford to give. It's the road without a toll, American Wasteland. We do the taxing ourselves, American Wasteland. It's the rock without the roll, American Wasteland. We do the rolling ourselves, American Wasteland. Won't give votes to soldiers at war. Instead, we moan and groan at their disrespect for peace. Money for cigs and alcohol is money that's worth spending.
All right.
Why not take up the needle? I hear this week's heroin's trendy.
Well, you get welfare, apparently.
Hell yeah.
That's all I'm gonna read from that one.
Yeah, I really fucking... I hate that song
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah. That song is dumb. God, and we played that song so
That was-
much in Miami. Yeah, I absolutely hate that song. I remember there were
Yeah.
two guys
Yeah.
that would come to these shows.
Well, they were like,
And,
the Pearl Jam fans, right?
The Pearl Jam fans, yeah, and they wanted to hear this song every time. And I mean, we would oblige because it was like, yeah, let's play that song, man.
Well, here's the thing, right? And this, I could relate because, like, when I hear songs, like, the lyrics just kind of, like, go right through me, right? Like, I have a really difficult time
yeah, but you
listening to
can
lyrics,
still,
right?
like, hear a
But-
bad song. I mean,
No,
I
no,
think
no,
those
no.
guys just didn't know it was a bad song.
Well, but here's what I was gonna get at
Plus
is
you're,
that
out.
yeah, but the chorus of that song, right, was maybe catchy's a bit strong, right? But it was just like, it's the road without the toll, and then American Wasteland, and that's the thing that like everyone like Wasteland, yeah, like
right.
like aren't you listening to the rest of this like unintentional right-wing
No,
diatribe? Like, of course
no
not,
one,
no.
no one's, it's got nothing to do with that. I mean,
Well,
it's a sing-along gang vocal
yeah,
chorus.
American
right?
Wasteland.
I mean, and you can pretty much, it's a surefire way to make that be.
Yeah, but I just feel like,
I
and
don't know.
here's the irony of that song too, is that at the time, we were campaigning and canvassing for Ralph Nader.
But I don't want to talk about the politics of this song because we were children. We
I
were
know,
teenagers,
but the
and-
thing, just as a
See, I'm already getting upset thinking about this
know.
song. Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
Like I'm getting upset thinking about this song and the stupidity
yeah.
of this song and
Well, I'm just like wondering,
just the foolishness of teenagers. You know?
yeah, but here's like the thing that boggles me about that song is, the disparity between the input and the output of that, right? Like we're sort of coming at it, we were like forming our opinions and philosophies of life and all that
Right,
stuff,
but
which
coming out of like whatever
Right.
people around us,
But-
adults, like
But that
believed in
the
it.
like the lyrics that came down, and I personally feel like a lot of that was my fault. Because like some of the lines that make me cringe, I mean, maybe it's because like I was the one that wrote those lines that make me cringe, but like the the welfare for heroin addicts, and like I hear this week heroin's like it's just it's like that John Stossel bullshit that I was totally like.
Did you write those? I thought I wrote. See,
no, I wrote those. I remember writing those, and that's
good.
That's,
I feel a little better now.
You should, yeah.
However, I still wrote the other. You can't get away from it. It's just so you have to go back and answer for this. But the only thing you can say is like, I was 16. I was. Didn't know anything about anything, and there's this sort of disconnect between who you are and what you say you are, and then you grow up. Yeah. Especially kind of, amidst the environment we were growing up in. Yeah. Politics was a dinner conversation,
Anyway. Terrible song.
You see the incredible reaction though, right? Yeah. There's like the laughing at how dumb it is, and then there's like the feeling really.
I have done something shameful.
Yeah.
I have brought something shameful out into the world.
I hope you guys realize that's what I'm trying to convey here. Like it makes you physically uncomfortable to hear some of this back, because you just didn't know anything. You're such a different, you're just so much more aware of yourself.
Well, you're like
still
looking
growing
back.
Up,
it's like you're an incomplete person.
You really are. Yeah, and you have you don't even know how to communicate what it is you really mean. Yeah. So you can just tell that. I mean, the mood has changed in this room right now. Yeah. All right.
I feel like this whole thing was leading up to like apologizing for that song.
I know.
In my life.
I knew it was coming, and there it was. You see how much it was on our minds. Let's play him another horrible, but less horrible-ish song.
Oh, I mean, I found one called "Chasing the Dragon."
What is up with the heroin obsession? Was there a really bad heroin problem at the time? Have we just seen like Train Spotting? Was that when heroin chic was a thing? I'm gonna blame it on the Doors phase.
Frank found the lyrics to this one. I hate this song.
You'd say that about all of them.
Not as much as like American Wasteland. That's like visceral hate. This is just like, why did we release this?
So it is what I'm thinking of. This is the first Aloud single, right?
It is.
Like technically.
And because we are fools, we put it as an A-side. Not that it matters.
Right. This is the first Aloud song that got played on the radio.
Yeah, and quite frankly, I feel like Frank's performance of it is the best performance of.
Okay, so let's hear the lyrics to the first Aloud single.
Hey now, what's it to you? No! November 15th, 2002. Let's feed the machine and keep the lobby clean. I think it's rather funny making all this money. Slight adjusted margins. High-priced, low-fat margarine. Movie hype and buttons. Fatten up the glutton. Hey now, what's it to you? Hey now, what's it to you? Hey now, what's it to you? Setting up in order. Got away with murder. It's up versus down, so we'll screw you to the ground. Nighttime, pass out in bed. Morning, wish I was dead. Pay you with a smile. Now baby, open wide. Chorus solo. Actually, there's more. Sunday morning feels the same, just like any other day. Sunday morning feels the same. Small suggestion boxes, big on income taxes. White out all the blotches, just to climb the notches. Hey now, hey now, hey now.
Well, thank you, Frank. That made me feel better about absolutely nothing.
We've got some plugs for you.
Got some plugs.
At the end of the month, we're going to be playing at Great Scott in Boston.
January 31st to be precise. It is a Saturday. We are playing at the Mercury Lounge in New York on February 15th. That will be our video release show for A Little Bit Low, which is finally seeing the light of day.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite tracks on our latest record.
Speaking of the record, It's Got To Be Now is out now. We just ordered a second pressing of vinyl, so if you go to our website, allthingsaloud.com, clever, you will find a plethora of links to meet all of your purchasing needs and, all magnificent sorts of ways to transfer your currency to us.
Very excited to be getting the LPs back in the store. Yes, wonderful. So thanks for listening. It's been fun, and we'll hopefully get another one of these out soon.
Good night.
Bye.
This concludes the War on Songwriting, the first episode of the Aloud podcast, All Things Aloud. Thank you for listening. Thank you for visiting allthingsaloud.com. Thank you for tasting the future.
Alright, this is a good one. Drunk on Freedom. November 18th, 2000. Freedom is disguised as choices every day. You get lost in the confusion and lose your way. Freedom brings you down cause there's no such thing. It's kinda like communism. It doesn't exist.
I think that's a high point. I think we can end on that one.